So I've been using this app called Reptile Buddy to help me keep track of my crusty geckos and my breeding projects over about the last 6 months, and I have some thoughts I'd like to share. First, I'd like to talk about kind of what reptile apps can do for keepers just in general. I think the number one thing they can do is just help keep our sanity in check. And they can really help on both the care side of reptile keeping and the paperwork side of reptile keeping, which, us gecko breeders know all too well with lineage, dates of birth, all these questions we're asked about our animals when we, provide offspring to the public. And I think I speak for just about every breeder that's been through a high production breeding season that both bookkeeping and maintenance can get away from you so quickly if you're not on top of it. And just speaking for myself, my life is already hectic enough without all these geckos producing 1 million babies this coming year. So any tools, tips, or tricks I pick up along the way as I try and simplify my reptile keeping experience, I'd like to provide and kind of share. So, in comes Reptile Buddy. So with this app, you basically load it up and you upload kind of profiles of each animal in your collection one by one. You can then get into sorting the individuals via species, enclosure, or just group. And within each of these animal profiles, you can do things like upload feeding and growth history. You can upload and keep track of their specific morphology, their lineage, and their birth date in a nice, clean, composed, organized location, basically not deep within a random section of your notes app or your Morph Market message history. Also, this app is completely free and doesn't charge you for wanting to upload more than 3 animals to your collection. So when you open each animal's profile, you'll find 3 tabs. Those being the Actions tab, the Feeding tab, and the Measurement tab. When you open the Actions tab, you'll be met with a bunch of different options that you can log specific to a date and time. So things like the animal took a bath, the breeding was observed, the animal was cleaned or defecated or even shed. You can also create your own custom bookmarks to leave as well. In the Feeding tab, it first prompts you to select a food item, where you can then go on to select the number of items fed, the food weight, the date, if that food was refused or regurgitated, and if calcium with D3, or a multivitamin was added to the food. And lastly, there's the Measurements tab, where you can record the length and the weight of the animal. In the app, you'll also find the Schedules tab, where you can set routines for cleaning, feedings, bathing animals, or water changes, that kind of thing, which is really helpful for those of us with large collections, so we can kind of set a schedule and just stick to an easy-to-follow routine. And it can definitely help keepers stay on top of the simple tasks that we might ordinarily just forget or neglect to do. One unfortunate thing to note is that, at least for iPhone people, the app isn't able to send you push notifications. However, if you do get into a good habit of opening the app on a daily basis, once you open the app, it will beam you with reminders to do so. Where I find the most use out of this app is in the Breeding tab. With the animals that you've logged in the previous steps, you can create breeding projects, and you can make profiles for each pairing. And within these specific profiles, you can add actions just like in the animal profile. Just instead of feeding and cleaning, you can log things like the date animals were paired, as well as removed. You can log the occurrence of confirmed locks, and even ovulations, as well as the lay and hatch date of any eggs or babies received. The app also has a built-in genetics calculator for those of us combining animals with more complicated morphology. It's hard to kind of keep track of the probabilities of each offspring. So having it all calculated and not having to go back to 7th grade science class with all the Punnett squares is nice. I'd say 90% of the reptile apps on the App Store right now are practically useless, and I would say are more of a hassle than they're worth. Reptile Buddy kind of shines above most as being one that I could actually see myself using going forward consistently, just given its simplicity and easy to do certain tasks. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Reptile Buddy. I really enjoyed using it, and I think you will too. I'll be on the lookout for more reptile apps as they get put out, and I'll test them to see if they're worth our time. Thanks again, guys. See ya.